Hello. I'm here
Hello.
to talk to you about colonic irrigation. So's
You.
more. Yeah, thank you for joining us for this lovely super chat catch up here. We had a nice stream the other night on Open Bar, and it was a weird one, right? Because it kind of felt like it's been a quiet week for news. You know, like there hadn't been any like major screw ups or anything. Nothing that we wanted to laugh at particularly. It was just like, yeah, we're just kind of shooting the breeze. Talking a little bit about Last of Us, that sort of thing.
We were indeed. You can hear me, right?
I can, yeah. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
good. My PC's acting up, but I'll just. It's fine.
All right. Well, if you suddenly glitch out or anything, we will let you know. But
Very well.
yeah, so we actually got through more of the super chats the other night than I expected. So there's not too many to do here, but we never leave one behind. So let's get fired into them, shall we? This could
Yeah.
end up being like the shortest stream or the shortest recording I ever do. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, the first one that we had was from Maudib, who says, even if the MCU became objectively perfect, I'd still do something else, like play the new Zelda in May. They wasted my time, and for me, that's worse than the writing. Damn, that's harsh.
But if they stopped wasting your time, you know.
I mean, if it became objectively perfect, I would argue that, it's not a waste of time then to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I try and remind everyone, right? Like, there was hype that when Infinity Wars trailers are coming out, we were like, oh man, this all come to this, huh? And then you watch the movie and it's like, this is pretty good. And it ended really badly for the heroes, which seems bold.
Yeah,
All right. Now everyone wants to see. There's a reason Endgame made a lot of money. I'm just putting it that way.
yeah.
There was a time where we gave a shit about the MCU.
It was kind of
Oh,
shocking, wasn't it, to have an MCU movie where it's like, oh wow, there's real stakes here, and it's not just happy clappy, goofy humor and everyone wins at the end. That movie ended on a right grim note, and it was so refreshing.
hmm.
And I just thought, wow, wouldn't it be nice if you got more stuff like that, movies with real consequences? Then the Phase 4 came along, and it's like, well, no, back to goofing around. Don't want to get too serious.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that same sentiment around Picard season three. Um, by all accounts, it's meant to be really good. A lot of people are trumpeting it as like the best thing since like TNG. But then so
Wow.
many
All
other
right.
people are just like, well, I just don't want to support it, or I've just lost interest in the whole Star Trek brand now because I've had 10 years of garbage. And, it's an interesting one.
Can't blame them.
Edward Morris says, so this is what metal looks like. Lol. It was indeed, yeah. That was the first time I'd ever seen metal as well. So I was
He's a
relieved
beautiful boy.
He is a gorgeous man and he has a luscious beard.
He
like,
does.
it's way bigger than mine, so I'm kind of jealous, but it
Hmm.
seems like the kind of beard that you'd get, you get caught in food mixers and stuff, so you gotta be careful. Street Dog says, I'm out in the street, what do I do? I mean, if you're a
Go see a
dog,
movie.
yeah, or pee on something, get yourself to the nearest pub. I recommend.
There you go.
Stuart Fields says, "Morning from Kapiti, New Zealand. Hypothetical, but curious what you guys would think of the next God of War game being a remake of the original trilogy, but in the updated style of God of War 2018. Cheers."
No.
I
I
mean,
would.
I don't object to that idea of redoing the first three games with a more mature style. But I just don't think you need to, really. It'd be better to move forward with the Kratos that we have now.
I quite love the third game. I think it's like the peak of its formula for that era. Like it doesn't. The idea that it's like, well, we can switch it over. It's like, I don't know. Why not? I wouldn't mind going back to Greece with Kratos though in a future story. I feel like that could be really potent. Um,
Hmm.
there's an idea that we were talking about on EFAP, but like the Roman mythology, a lot of it is inspired by Greek stuff, right? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you could argue, because I mean this is all made up anyway, that when he left Greece, Athena tried to pull everything together. Maybe they started a new pantheon, the Roman one, and you have all the gods of the Roman pantheon are there now, trying to rebuild what Kratos did, and he's like known as the guy, like he's basically their Satan.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it could be interesting. That would be a new set of challenges, and there's loads of storytelling you can give there. And like as much as people have said, like, oh, we're going to be getting a spin-off, Loki game. If it were me, if I were in control, I would want to not have Loki now turn up at all for a whole game, even.
Yeah, if he was to come back, I'd want to see him then as an adult.
Hmm.
We've had like child Atreus, then we've had like adolescent Atreus. Like it's time for him to grow up and you know become a man. But like that needs a bit of time. And yeah, I think a bit of space would be good just to have a standalone game with Kratos and
Well,
maybe
imagine
even
like the kind of
Freya. I don't know.
power payoff like that would have if in 2 games time Atreus comes back, as a man.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be really cool. It does make me wonder as well, like how many more like ancient belief systems can they go through? Like what's left?
I
I
think we
think you
know that
could.
everyone wants Kratos to kill everybody, so
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like he's not going to be able to touch like Christianity or
no.
Islam or anything like that. So it's going to have to be like extinct religions.
Everyone expects Egypt will be next, but the
I
reality
mean,
is,
that you'd
they
have to
want to
jump
make.
back in time though for that, wouldn't you? Because like ancient Egypt was long before Greece and anything like that.
They can do whatever they want. They can have
I
Egypt
suppose.
exist in the future if they want. I think that it's a great little setup. Okay, they want to tell stories that people who are in charge of all of it and power it all up want money, and we want to play them. So why not just keep it going, guys?
Hmm, that's good. I mean, would you ever like to see a conclusion to it? Would you like to have a game that's like this is the final game in Kratos' story?
I'm quite an advocate for ending stories, but at the same time, what if they kept being good? Do they need to end anytime soon? Like the Star Wars saga, a lot of people would be like,
Careful more. That's what the MCU people thought.
well, the thing is, but if they were good, we'd all be happy with them continuing. That's the thing. Like, if all of Phase 4 are excellent, we wouldn't be like, you need to end the story, guys. Come on. Um, but the thing is, like I've said about the MCU, there's so many stories running that it's a lot of them do end. Like Tony Stark's story is over. Well, it's over to me. Whatever they fucking add on in like Phase 4 and 5 or whatever, I don't care. But yeah, so that there's a reason that can continue. There's younger people growing up in that world who have different stories to tell and stuff. Meanwhile, it's like, how long could Kratos keep going? It's like, well, I mean, I've always hated the idea that when a character gets to a certain age, we can't tell stories with them anymore. Like old people don't go on arcs or something.
No, I think they get more interesting the older they get. They're obviously carrying more baggage around with them, and maybe they have to start dealing with the fact that they're slowing down physically, and how do they reconcile that with like what challenges they're facing. I think you could do a lot of interesting things with that. I guess the problem is like I don't think Kratos ages like a normal person. Like he's effectively immortal.
Because you know how a lot of the fights he has in the Norse era are based on misunderstandings or that he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time, sort of thing. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind the whole going back to Greece thing, or at least having people from Greece wanting to kill him, being that they actually understand it very well, exactly what his situation is. He's a different man, but they don't care. It's like you did what you did and you have to be punished for it, sort of thing.
Hmm.
And like, how does he deal with that? So I feel like there's a lot of story yet to tell. It's not just superficially, I want to go see him fight Anubis because that would be cool. It's like I would always want that there's like a heart and soul to the stories as well. And I don't know. If it's a similar team next time, I'd trust him to nail it.
Yeah. No, they've done well so far. Cannon Foltro gave us a thumbs up, so nice one, thank you.
Hmm.
Michek Falek says, "Hey, I'm from Poland, and we are so loved in Witcher World. Netflix is raping this franchise; they don't care at all. I think with this, it's Hollywood putting their spin on it, and it's like people in California trying to apply their like cultural norms to something which I guess started out very, very Eastern European, very steeped in that culture and that folklore, and just that whole mindset of the world. And this is the result. It doesn't feel authentic. Obviously, we've all laughed at Witcher Blood Origin for being absolute garbage, but even the
Ugh.
Witcher show at its best it never really hit the spot. It never hit the mark creatively or dramatically. It never captured that world in the same way that the books or the games did. And yeah, I'd rather some Polish studio did it. Just maybe they wouldn't have quite the resources that Hollywood has, but
Hmm.
oh, it would be so much more satisfying to watch.
It's been interesting watching the discussion on that show develop. Because I remember season 1, it was very 50-50. I remember people being like, "It's pretty good," and some people being like, "It's not that good." At this
Uh,
point, though, I think everybody's done.
I think I was willing to give it a go because it kind of felt like they tried to, do an overly complex method of telling the story because it was non-linear and it was kind of difficult to tune into, and you kind of thought, well, okay, they might have learned from that, and maybe some of the problems were just a result of trying to do this in a very difficult way. See what season 2 brings, and they did season 2. It was nice and linear, so it was easier for them to tell the story, but it was still shit. And it just got more shit as time went on, and it just became really obvious that like they didn't care for Geralt as a character. They just wanted it as a vehicle to talk about the characters that they cared about. And you know, you can't do The Witcher without Geralt and without like paying him respect and actually making him part of the narrative. Particularly when you got Henry Cavill involved, and so I can see why he was losing his mind trying to like be part of this show. It must have just been soul destroying. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they fucked themselves really, and I've got no sympathy for them. TRKG says, I'm liking the pre-apocalypse scenes in The Last of Us. I hope we keep getting more of them and more of the big collapse of the world. I think that's what we're going to get. I wouldn't be surprised if each episode has a cold opening like that, which is cool. I like it.
Yeah, I'm hoping for more of them. I think they're neat. Next episode's out like nowish, right? I think.
Is it midnight or something that comes out, or is it actually tonight?
All I know is Sundays, or is it American Sunday night? Is that how it works?
I never understand. I don't understand the world. I'll just look at the TV occasionally and there it is. But well, we'll see I guess when the next one comes out and when we watch it. But yeah, I'd quite like a bit more of an insight into how it all went down because the games didn't really give you too much on the progression of this virus and like how quickly society collapsed and what decisions were made along the way. So that'd be
Yeah.
good. Hikira says, I'm always so happy when someone references the amazing writing in TNG. I have so many clips ready to show people when they ask me if it's any good. Yeah, Metals seem to be very much enjoying it, which is cool.
Yeah, he started his little sort of arc with Jay a while ago, and it's funny to me because I'm like, oh, you're up to like that's a famous episode. It's funny, I've heard of it and I know the gist, but I've not seen it yet, and I plan to sort of go through all of Star Trek at some point.
Yeah. Uncle Pappy Wolf says, how many shows like IT Crowds are able to be made now? I'm surprised they haven't removed the gameplay episode from streaming yet. Same for Community, the D&D episode.
I fucking love. Do you remember that episode where they just go and see a gay musical?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's good shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Give it time. I'm sure eventually they'll be deemed offensive and they'll be memory
They'll
hold.
come for it, yeah.
Jens says, what are your thoughts on The Peripheral? I don't know. I haven't seen The Peripheral.
Yeah, I don't know.
Scoundrel says, thanks, Drinker. I bought the original Star Trek series and watched the movies and can't thank you enough for your recommendations. Cheers. Good. It's always nice to see someone getting into Star Trek and enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't go beyond 2005. Sean Abbas says, The Last of Us prompted me to watch Chernobyl again. Oh, so good. You could really see the showrunner's fingerprints on The Last of Us, especially in those opening segments. Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Actually,
no, that's part of the reason
didn't know
why I had some hope for the show was that the Chernobyl creator was involved. So
that is cool. And it's funny, I didn't even know that until this moment, so that makes a lot of sense. Almost Ready says, Ellie's mom on the show will be the voice actress from the game. Anyone else you wish would be in the show from the game? I mean, we're going to get Troy Baker, aren't we? So
yeah, for a second there, I thought they were saying Ellie's mum in the show will be the girl who voiced Ellie from the game, or are they saying that the voice of Ellie's mum?
I think that's what they're
be...
suggesting, yeah, which is...
I forget her
odd.
name, but for some reason, the fun fact I know is that she's in Avengers. She's one of the civilians Cap helps out, I think.
That's random.
Yeah. I don't know why I know that, but I know that.
But yeah, apart from that, like amongst the rest of the voice cast, like I'm not that attached to them that I have to think, oh, okay, I really want to see them in the show and like playing a completely unrelated character or whatever. Red Muskrat says, "Have any of you seen The Devil All the Time? I really enjoyed it and would love to hear your thoughts." Have you seen
Heard of
that? The
it.
Devil All
I
the
haven't
Time?
seen it, but I've heard it. I think is Tom Holland in it?
What is it?
Don't know.
Okay. Also, Drinker, please review High Tension, good suspense slasher French film. Okay. Take that recommendation. Laparca says, I know it was overshadowed by the Will Smith slap, but have you seen Coda? The film that won Best Picture last year. It's a wonderfully directed and written family drama with great performances. I don't think I have, no.
That's just
Excuse me.
that's just really funny to me though. That like it's like I know that things actually happened in the Oscars last year. You know, like there were things that were beyond him slapping Chris Rock,
Yeah.
but nobody remembers.
Sam Wallace Art says, The Devil All the Time is good rap. Tom Holland kills it as quiet Ohioan Giga Chad. Really?
I kind of want to see it just to see him play a different person for once.
Yeah.
And yeah, sorry if that wasn't clear. I haven't seen Coda. I don't know much about it at all.
Okay. Tom Holland is not a name I would normally associate with Giga Chads.
No.
But hey. Guardian Fortress says, Drinker, tell Mauler to watch Patton. Mauler, watch Patton.
Why?
It's good.
Okay.
It's a good biopic actually, and it's George C. Scott I think who plays Patton, and yeah, he channels a really good performance.
All right.
I mean, if you've seen Doctor Strangelove, like his performance in that, it's basically he was just doing Patton in that. So, no, he's really good. Cannon Folderall says the tits of desperation. Thank you, little platoon. Talking about actresses getting their kit off when they're past their prime, I suppose.
Oh yeah. Well, they'll do it sometimes in their prime, right? Because that's just
They used to. They used to do it a lot, and well, we were ranting about that. How it's just like the complete desexualization of movies now. It's like you can't show anything even a little bit naughty.
Well, yeah, we were saying
It's
that it's
not
like
allowed.
led into you don't get as much sexual chemistry, even let alone nudity.
Yeah,
Like it's just like it feels like something they want to avoid. Too dangerous.
yeah. Kerry Lawson says, "Salutations from Kentucky." Thank you. Salutations to you. Jesus Davila give you a thumbs up, so thanks for that. Anna Marie Evans says, Scarlett is a timeless beauty. I still love Lost in Translation. Her, Anna de Armas, Penelope Cruz, I think are the most beautiful women in Hollywood. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you on that one, actually.
They're pretty, pretty.
They are nice to look at. Yeah, Lost in Translation. Good movie. Michael Hickman says, speaking of a great movie with a nude scene, The Northman. What nude scenes in that? I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy gets her kit off at one point, but you don't see anything. It's all from behind.
Wow.
You get to see her ass cheeks, I suppose. That's something. But I always find there's something slightly disturbing about her. She's just hovering right on the edge of the uncanny valley. I think it's just like her eyes are too far apart or something. It's like, oh, there's something not quite right there.
You look. Some men like it when the eyes are that far up.
And pointing in different directions, and Anna Marie Evans says, Drinker, looking forward to your new production hell. Oh yeah, that was when I did the entire DCEU.
I watched that. Yeah.
What a
ride.
mess. Yeah.
I felt like you were trying to balance your approach to assessing the Snyderverse. You're like, you would like, look, guys, it wasn't a good fit. Like, it just wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Like, I've maintained that he probably would have done a good Batman film, and fine if you want him kind of overseeing your big interconnected franchise. Okay, but have other directors in to do the Superman movies. Have other directors in that are better at this stuff because yeah, he's not the fit. But yeah, I still would love to see the Ayer cut of the Suicide Squad. I think I'd be interested to see what that is. Apparently, it's much more straight laced and it's
I could believe it's
much
better.
more coherent.
Yeah, because it was a mess. The 2016 one.
I mean, I'm generally fairly forgiving towards edits and stuff. Little editorial glitches here and there. I don't care that much. I can just let it wash over me. But like, in terms of just the the structure of that film and the way it was so chopped and changed, like it's probably one of the worst edited movies I've seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Especially the first half hour. Absolute disaster. Indy G says Prime God of War Lizzo as Kratos, Tessa Thompson as Atreus. Okay.
Well, yeah, we'll see what they end up doing for a God of War TV show.
Did you hear, by the way, that they're going to be making a Tomb Raider TV show and Phoebe
I
Waller-Bridge is
did.
going to be writing it?
I did hear that.
Fucking shoot me. God, why do they do this? Why does she keep getting gigs like this?
I'm sorry, Tomb Raider.
I just, yeah, I can see exactly the direction this is going to go. And you're going to make Lara Croft one of the most awesome and likable and cool female video game protagonists in all of gaming history into an unlikable, goofy arsehole. I can just see it now. And, well, another one bites the dust, I suppose. Sam Wallace Art says Tar is the best film of the year, hands down. She's an intense composer, losing grip on her life decisions, subtle and low-key, but every line of dialogue is gold. I mean, I haven't seen it. I've just seen, that scene that was doing the rounds on social media a couple of months back. But
I
it
didn't
did
see
make
that.
me intrigued. Well, I think it was when she was teaching this this student, how to do a certain song or a composition or whatever, and he raised the question about like, well, the original composer of it was racist, or it's got some ties to like supremacy or like slavery or whatever, and then she just gave this really like eloquent speech completely deconstructing that entire argument and like why it's a piece of art, it's not a piece of political propaganda. So yeah, it kind of it created a bit of a stir at the time. It was quite good.
I saw a comic that was like, you shouldn't be buying the Hogwarts thing or whatever, for whatever political reason, and then like the person saying it had like a little Cthulhu statue in the background. It's just funny.
Oh god, yeah. It's the way now that people are able to project such certain opinions about things with absolutely no intelligence to back it up and no knowledge. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, amazing.
And everything's just a fucking war all the time. Everything matters to the maximum degree. Nothing can be normal anymore.
No. There's people like us who are in the middle. And it's like I just want to play games and
Just
watch
want to grill.
movies. Just want to grill. Yeah, I just want to drink beer and grill. Yes, God.
Well, dude, I saw a clip from Top Secret the other day, or it might have been today actually. You remember that movie?
Was it Dan Aykroyd that was in that? No, I don't think it
Val
was.
Kilmer.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, I would like to rewatch that soon with alcohol. I'm gonna try and organize it, I think, but it's just fun. I just want to have fun. That's my thing these days.
Are you trying to tell me that Velma wasn't fun for you?
No, actually, painful, hurt me.
That's 2023 approved humor.
The last eval we did, people were like, "You're not continuing that, boo!" Like, please. And I was just like, "Guys, seriously, on this one, please." Like, I just don't want to watch anymore.
And you're talking to people who watch She-Hulk like all the way through.
Yeah.
It's like, there's certain things where you just have to say, nope, it's not worth my sanity.
Yeah, I'm not even making like the whole no hate watching argument. I just don't want to suffer this time. This is a lot. I like to get into fun stuff, right? Batwoman and She-Hulk are both great for that, but man, Velma was just foul.
Yeah.
And try to explain to people the edits you see on EFAB of us watching it. That's like cutting out loads of just us being depressed and staring at the screens, like just like, ugh.
I'm actually a bit worried for Disparu and Little Platoon because I think they're both watching it and reviewing it all the way. And that's
doesn't that feel like those young bucks? They don't know what
Yeah.
they're doing. Like running headlong into pure cringe. You be careful out there.
You've got to let them make their own mistakes smaller. You got to let them go their own way. But yeah, it's like I could just sit back and be like, nah, I've done my bit there. I'm out. Anna Marie Evans says Tar looked great. Top Gun Maverick deserves a nomination. I mean, yeah, like I've made it clear how much I enjoyed that movie. Like, was it Oscar worthy? I don't know. But yeah, it's nice to see it represented, I suppose.
I wonder if we should just be more honest about what everyone wants the Oscars to be, and that is just we like this a lot, and we want it to have a big old golden trophy.
I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, can you create a new category and it's just like, most popular movie or something? It's just like the People's Award or something like that. Where it's not like some pretentious arty farty thing, just a movie that was just pure fun that everyone seemed to enjoy.
Would that be determined by a vote or box office?
Not box office, no, because I feel like that's slightly you run
Fucking
the risk of.
Transformers would have won like several.
I
Oscars.
know, and like you run the risk of something like Captain Marvel winning it or something like just overinflated, and yeah, like probably studios would just start artificially inflating their numbers, but it'd just be a vote, I think. Maybe like move it outside of the academy or something to like actual regular people. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to structure it somehow. But yeah, you gotta do something to make the Oscars accessible to normal people because it's with each passing year, it's just getting this reputation as like a bunch of rich elitist arseholes picking movies that nobody cares about that were just diversity hires essentially, and it just makes them slide gradually into irrelevancy.
Oh, that's something I meant to ask you. Have you seen Puss in Boots?
No, we were talking about that the other night. Haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. I think
Make
you
sure
had, and
you
you
do.
liked it.
I would like you to see it because I believe you would find it good.
I'm sure I will. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So,
Well, because the reason it came to mind is like it doesn't even get to be in Best Picture, obviously because it's not only animated, but it's not as like I think the closest you'll get to an animated film getting in for Best Picture will have to be from Pixar or something like it.
right. Okay.
And everyone's already like annoyed at the idea that Seeing Red will beat out Puss in Boots for Best Animated Film. It's like it better fucking not.
I haven't watched that, and I don't intend to. It sounds shit.
Well, what a comparison! Seeing Red is used as an example of the downfall of Pixar. Meanwhile, Puss in Boots, no one would normally care except everyone keeps talking about it.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's just one of those films that's giving people what they want, I guess. Campbell Peterson says Lizzo is the epitome of common sense going down the drain.
I don't even know who Lizzo is. Like,
Yeah, who the fuck is that? The big fat girl?
I think there was a video of her playing a trumpet or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, she's really big. Yeah, is she the one? I think she keeps like posing in bikinis and stuff like that, and she's like kind of body positive. Yeah.
Yay!
I mean, I'm just saying. I hope she doesn't succumb to diabetes or something like that. It cannot be good for you to be that size.
Not
but
what we
hey.
call sustainable.
No. Betrace says, I'm not a racist, I'm equality challenged. Okay.
All right.
Christian Wolf says, what about treating the male superhero actors like cattle by injecting them with steroids? The actors could say no, but not if they want the role. I mean, yeah, I've heard the rumors that most of them are on gear. They may well be. I'm pretty sure, like, every time you sign up for a Marvel movie or whatever, you're assigned a personal trainer and exercise regime, and you're expected to get on with it. Unless your name is Jennifer Lawrence, then you get to complain about it. Like, oh my god, I have to get in shape for a role? How unfair is this? It's like, yeah, people have been doing that since the dawn of cinema, man. It's crazy. Next one is... Oh, damn, where have I gone? Oh, yeah, here it is. Sparks says, hello, gentlemen. Apparently, Velma is doing great. Its views have surged 127%. What the hell is happening? Do you think HBO is lying? I don't know, man. Is it the train wreck phenomenon? People just want to see the disaster that it is?
I don't know. We'd have to talk to people who actually enjoy it, if there are
Is it
any,
just-
and then if it is fueled only by people who really hate it and want to see how bad it is. Well, that's I don't even. Does that mean because it comes with HBO Max, right?
Yes. Well, it does if you're in America, not for us.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't know. Maybe people are putting it on because they already have the service, and they're just curious. I don't know.
It's baffling. Vitrace says, if Jennifer Lawrence hadn't broken that ceiling, then Galadriel wouldn't have needed to suffer. True.
Hmm.
Crudler says, is it true that there's any animal... there's nary an animal alive that can outrun a greased-up Scotsman? That is very true, in fact, especially if it's in an air vent. Ant Rodriguez says, it's funny when people say that Avatar 2 has a positive message about family when the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie did these themes and ideas way better. Christ, that's a deep reference. If you guys haven't seen it yet, then check it out. I have seen that movie. I,
I
I don't
cannot
know
agree it
how...
has a positive message about family. I never will. After when the Tiri threatens to kill his surrogate fucking son, and when a father is told, if you attack, I'll kill your children, then just attacks. These are not, and then they completely forget about Spider by the end of the film. Like these things struggle with my brain as to whether or not it's a pro-family film.
It's a pro-family film, it's just not pro-common sense. Like,
Mhm.
the overarching message is about family unity and stuff. It's just that the details don't quite bear that out. Like, the characters make a lot of individually retarded decisions. Guardian Fortress says that girl from Temple of Doom had to do mental exercises just to keep calm during the big scenes.
Willie or
I mean, I assume so. She's the only woman in it, really. She didn't strike me as particularly calm when I'm watching Temple of Doom. I'm pretty
no?
sure she was screaming or crying in every single scene she was in.
Andy.
Oh god, it's like you go from Marion to that, and then even Elsa is kind of more on the ball and composed because she's a mole.
Okay, fine. Hot take. I think it's neat that we have three very different women in all three films.
You do, yeah. I suppose that's one way of looking at it, but I think Spielberg himself said he going through a divorce at the time, and I think he projected a lot of his like irritation and stuff onto Willie.
He clearly
Just
projected a lot of weird shit in general into that film. Like, that's...
yeah. Coco says, "Oh God, I just tuned in and started some new meds today. LP's avatar is moving, right? Or do I need to call my doctor?" Yeah, we were all in awe of his
Hmm.
movable avatar. You need that, Mauler. You need one of them.
I don't have it, but
I know.
maybe one day.
Whatever program he's using, I'm sure you could like adapt it to use the Mauler avatar in it.
Yeah, I need to go to the
Presumably.
future where an AI can approximate my expressions through my voice alone.
Whoa.
That'd be cool.
Mr. Kiki says, "Are you ever going to start an OnlyFans with Tatiana?" I was going to say Avatar there, and that would be weird. But
Yeah.
the thing is, well, I support her through YouTube, so I don't need to do OnlyFans yet. But yeah, if it gets to that, I better get myself to the gym, I suppose. Stumpy says, if Disney remade Moby Dick, do you think they would race swap the white whale? Well, he's the villain, so I think they'd be quite comfortable with him being white, I would imagine. Big Sparky says, if you haven't watched it, check out BJ Novak's Vengeance. My dad and I both thought it was a pretty sharp satire, but many others called it woke trash. Would be interested to hear your thoughts. Vengeance. Do we know anything about that?
No.
I haven't seen BJ Novak in anything for quite some time. Bill Durham says John Wayne's The Quiet Man takes place in Ireland and would cause every SJW to melt down. Great movie. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it had, at the time, the longest fist fight on screen. I think it held that record for quite a long time until They Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, which bested it. But yeah, it was pretty good. In fact, yeah, I remember halfway through their fist fight, they stopped to go into a pub for a drink, and like one of the guys who's been fighting, he's just like he's about to have his pint, and then he just goes like that, and one of his teeth just falls out. He puts it on the bar and then has a pint. William Taylor says, "Do you have any hope or expectations for Dune Part 2?" I mean, I hope it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Same.
we were talking about the first one being a little bit like detached emotionally, where it was like it's good, it's all very impressive, but it's just like I'm not hooked emotionally into this. So I'd like them to fix that, please. Corn Pop gave me a super sticker. Thanks, man. Eric K says, George, have any of you ever watched Enemy Mine? Dennis Quaid and Lewis Gossett Jr. I've seen it, and I quite liked it. I watched Red Letter Media's review of it, and that soured me on the movie a little bit. It's like they're pointing out all the shitty stuff in it, but overall, I thought it was quite a nice movie. Single Guy Cooking says, old movies against current. A movie I watched as a child was 12 Angry Men. That sounds weirdly familiar, Mauler. I was born in the 80s. Your review of the movie Drinker made your gravitas rise for me. Showing old movies is the best. They are really good.
There are some cool oldies out there.
There really are. Jedi Mind Tricks says, have any of you seen The Lonesome Dove or Dead Man's Walk? Early 80s Western TV miniseries with Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones that I couldn't recommend enough if you can find it. I remember Lonesome Dove vaguely, but I haven't seen Dead Man's Walk.
Yeah, I'm lost on both of them.
Ben Jensen says, hey guys, a huge fan of you all. Any tips for getting into media analysis on YouTube? How can he get himself 1 million subscribers, I wonder?
Well, cover what's new.
Yeah, that's the best way to get started, get some traction. Cosmic Burrito says, been playing Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Although it is non-canon, do you guys think it has a good story compared to Rings of Power?
Well, I'm not familiar with it, so...
Yeah, I don't know too much about it myself, unfortunately. I think I played Shadow of Mordor a bit, but I never really got into it beyond like the first few hours. It was like my friend lent it to me and I just kind of played it and I forgot about it. Single Guy Cooking says, speaking of Velma, there is already a non-Scooby version of Scooby-Doo. It was a form of parody or the adult nature. Wink wink, rate the story versus Velma. It's probably got better writing and performances. The Truth says, what do you think of the rumours that Velma will introduce Scooby in Season 2 as a black trans woman? I feel like they're just taking the piss now. Nothing would surprise me about this show, I've got to be honest.
I've heard about that, oh god. Just don't do it.
Just don't do this show, just leave, go away, do something better with your life.
Yeah.
Deano gave us a thumbs up, thank you. E. Smith says, howdy Drinker, though Pirates of the Caribbean is a seminal cinema franchise, the quality noticeably declined with each movie after the excellent first one. Maybe an overview vid in the future. Cheers. I would agree, yeah. The third one was like everything, including the kitchen sink thrown in, and then I lost interest after that. Yeah, I thought On Stranger Tides was pretty shit. I don't know about you, man.
I just felt like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies just got worse and worse as they went along.
Yeah. Andy the Game Maker says, what about Interstellar's version of time traveling? Is that the one where you can like sit inside someone's bookcase and like send them Morse code messages with the power of love?
I hate that film, so
we're in agreement then, sir.
I did I'm forever prepping to do a video on that movie one day. And when Metal came over, we did a big watch party of me, him, Fringy, Rags, and another guy, and we sort of watched the film while pausing. Like we did like an EFAP of the film, and it took us 10 hours.
I mean, I tell you, man, I think Oppenheimer will be good, but if it turns out to be shit, like you could do a really interesting video about like the decline of Christopher Nolan.
I mean, well, the problem for me is that like where people think his height is, I'm not even sure where I would put it. He's a strange creator for me because, like I said, my favorite film of all time is from him, but I simultaneously shit all over his films, so it's really difficult. I think it's just really consistent. He's such a consistent creator. He's got such amazing looking films with fantastic soundtracks, interesting choices for mixing, characters that are often lacking, and then plots that are like, calm down, please. I can't follow what the hell you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, I've never been more confused than when I was watching Tenet. But yeah, I've maintained it before. Like a lot of his characters were saved by really good actors, just giving it their all. And it's like they can kind of make up for shitty dialogue. Schlong says, hail Drinker and the lads, hope you're having a fine evening. We did, thank you. Or morning, I don't know, it's night here. Muller, I have been watching your critique of TFA and you're truly a master of your craft. Cheers.
Oh, well, thank you. It's going to be weird if I ever get to the end of that.
It's going to be your magnum. That's your magnum opus, I think.
It's just,
I'm gonna take a wild guess, right? You're probably not gonna want to do more like 5-part breakdowns of one movie.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing going forward, but I'm not too enticed by doing something like that again. I would probably prefer to find a quicker way of doing longer breakdowns. Um, but yeah, the point of that series I've said before is not just to say TFA is really fucking bad, and a conclusion will be that is where Star Wars died. It wasn't necessarily TLJ. And a lot of people still praise TFA to this day. I saw Angry Joe talking about how it was a really good film and a really good start, and it's just like it's not. It's absolutely awful. The thing is, it like passes the smell test, sort of, and it did with me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, TLJ is just too fucking offensive for people, which is kind of interesting, right? And yeah, and TFA killed Star Wars, but a lot of that series is more so to just talk about writing. I'm mainly just tangenting off into all kinds of writing respects for storytelling, which has been kind of the point of it. And I've had fun with that.
Yeah. And the last one here is from Max Steele. Great name. Says, when men take their shirts off in action flicks, it's for the ladies' gaze. It's so our wives and girlfriends will watch with us. SJ and her reduction. Yeah, that was Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, I mean, I maintain that she's had some kind of reduction there because, man, she's half the woman she used to be on top. But yeah, I think if you turn your mind back to like 80s action flicks, say, most of the big guys would get their shirts off at various points to walk around with a machine gun or whatever. I think it was perhaps less about attracting a female audience and more about just being sort of like a power fantasy or something aspirational. It's like, hey, look how big I am. You could be like this as well, and that's probably what guys got inspired by. There's probably a lot of guys who just started working out in the gym because they saw Arnie or they saw Stallone or whatever. I think, it was probably just like that element of trying to compete against each other, like who's the biggest actor with the biggest biceps or whatever it might be. And that was the culture at the time. But yeah, it's not the same now. I think it's done for very much like there's a more even split in the audience, like between male and female. Particularly if you see something like a Marvel film or Disney film or whatever, it's probably going to be about 50-50 men and women. And so I think it is just done now for like giving the women in the audience a bit of eye candy. But yeah, I just feel like, well, we it's not reciprocated. We don't really get that much to look at now. But hey ho, that is modern cinema. Anyway, we got to the end, and like I said, it was a fairly short list of super chats this time because we got through a whole ton of them on the night, so that makes it easier for nights like tonight. And we got to give them a bit of attention, like really answer each one as much as we could. So yeah. All good. Anyway, I guess the next time you see us will be Thursday for the next open bar. So
see you there, folks.
Stay tuned for that. But anyway, that's all we have for today. So thanks for this, and go away now.
Bye.